Daria gritted her teeth, focusing on the heart that was still beating in the pool of blood. It belonged to her. It was her last chance. With a strength she didn't know she had in herself, she lunged forward. Her hands trembled. Her body resisted, but she forced it to obey. She grabbed her heart. The dance slowed. The voices in the forest grew quieter. "What are you doing?" The hunter's voice trembled for the first time. Daria looked up, clutching her heart in her palms. She could feel its warmth, its life, her life. "I'm interrupting the dance." And with those words, she clenched her heart in her fist. There was a deafening scream. The forest shook. Everything around exploded with a purple light, and then darkness. When Daria woke up, she was lying on the cold ground. Above her was a gray sky. She had lived. As she struggled to rise, she saw that the forest was back to normal. The bones were gone. The hunter was gone. And there was a heart beating in her chest, her own. But she knew this was not the end. The legend of the dance on the bones wouldn't go away. It's just waiting for the next victim. Daria stood in the middle of the forest, breathing heavily. Everything around her was quiet, too quiet. No rustling, no night birds, no wind. It was as if the forest itself was holding its breath, watching her. She put her palm to her chest, her heart beat steady. She was alive. She'd been saved. But then, why was she so cold? Slowly, with a sinking heart, Daria lowered her gaze. The shadow. Her shadow. It didn't move. Dazed, Daria stepped forward, but the shadow remained in place. It no longer belonged to her. And then, with a slight, almost caressing crunch, the shadow began to rise. Daria froze. The shadow separated from the ground, becoming three-dimensional, taking on a familiar shape. A tall figure, an unnaturally thin body, a twisted smile. A hunter. "Did you really think it was okay to interrupt the dance?" His voice was her voice now. Daria staggered back, but her feet felt as if they were stuck to the ground. The world around her began to waver, the air thick as tar. The hunter took a step forward. "You didn't break the ritual." "Step. You replaced me." "Step. And now you get to dance." Daria wanted to scream, but she couldn't. The hunter's shadow slipped inside her, enveloping her body, filling her from the inside with icy darkness. Her fingers twitched. Her legs began to move on their own. And in that moment, Daria realized that dance never ends. It simply chooses a new hunter. And now, as night falls in the city, someone will hear footsteps in the forest. Someone will be the new victim. And the dance of the bones will begin again.